Welcome to the next video in our house flipping tips series, where we teach you when it comes to remodeling the do's and the don'ts so you don't waste your money, but yet you still get top dollar when you sell it. My name is Kyle Kargas, for those of you that don't know me. I'm a real estate investor here in the Phoenix Valley. We do house flips, Airbnb, rental, everything that you can think of when it comes to real estate. We have a real estate agency, so if you need help buying and selling, reach out to us on Instagram at the Kyle Kargas. Today's video is the secret and tips when it comes to curb appeal, or when you're standing at the curb and looking at the house, and what experience are you having? Is it a positive experience? Is it a negative experience? Is it increasing my desire to have the house or buy the house? That's what I want to know, from one property line to the other. I wish sometimes I could go outside of that and help the neighbors, but we are stuck between the lines. So it's the yard, it's the front of the house, it's the roof, the fence, right? That's your traditional curb appeal. Now in today's market, there's a second type of curb appeal. We call this your OCA, your online curb appeal. And that's because most buyers see your house online well before they decide to go take a look at it in person. Now, sometimes people in the neighborhood will still see the house and recommend it to a friend, but the majority definitely see it online. And that's a whole new ball game because you're not restricted to just seeing the front of the house. So the main picture you use, you might not be using the front of the house. It might be of the kitchen or something else. In fact, we'll do a whole video on the OCA, the online curb appeal, on the way that we market the property and what we want people to see to help us get top dollar. So like the video and subscribe to the channel to make sure that you're notified when that video comes out. We'll also add a link in the description below once it comes out so you can click on it and get right to it. Now, assuming that people have already chosen to come see your house, the traditional curb appeal plays a huge part. It all comes down to the experience, the thoughts, and the emotions that people have when they look at your house. There are people that see the front of the house and have already decided that's the house I want. And as long as the rest of the check boxes are marked, it's a done deal. Most people though, they need to have that experience and feel in love with the house when they first see it. If it doesn't check that box for them, it's on to the next one. Just like they tell you when you meet somebody new, first impression is everything, it's the same when it comes to a house. All right, now come with me to the front of the house. Here we're gonna start off with painting the house. Of course, you probably could have guessed, but I do wanna stress to make sure all the prep work is done first. Don't just paint it. If it's stucco, look for chips, cracks, get all those filled. If it's siding and the wood trim around the roof, make sure there's no wood rot. Get that stuff replaced before you paint. Then home inspector's gonna find out if you skip that step anyways, so just do it right the first time. The most important part here is colors. You need to pick a modern color. Right now we're doing kind of a black and white for most of our homes, and you could possibly do the front door in a more of an accent color if the HOA allows you. Really, hear that again. Check with the HOA, because most HOAs, at least here in the Phoenix Valley, most houses are in HOAs and they almost all restrict color and other things. So don't do anything to the outside of the house without checking the HOA, and if it's in a historic district, with the city. But assuming you're all good to go there, make it modern. You really want to attract that buyer that's looking for a 2023 house. A few of these next items you're not going to do every time. You have to make sure that financially it makes sense. The windows, for example. If the windows are already newer and dual pane, I'm not going to replace all the windows. I might add shutters to them, but I'm not going to replace them. If I do have to replace the windows because they're broken or cracked, I'll spend a little bit more money and get the black frame around the windows. New windows, especially with the black frames, really bring it up to 2023 standards. If it comes to the garage door, I'm not going to replace the garage door if it doesn't need it. If it does though, maybe consider upgrading your garage door one level if it's going to add to the aesthetic. Or better yet, it's a carport neighborhood and you can enclose it and add a garage door. Talk about standing out. Wow, that changes the curb appeal completely. The last one I'm going to mention on these type of items is the roof, a shingles roof. A tile roof, you can't even tell when they replace the roof, but a shingle roof, almost nothing better. But I'm not going to replace the roof if there's nothing wrong with it. So keep that stuff in mind and make sure you're picking colors that coordinate with everything with what you plan on painting the house as well as the door. But don't forget, that HOA in the historic district will get you every time. Now take another step back with me and we can see the landscaping, the driveway, and the lighting. There could be lights on both sides of the garage door. There could be a light next to the front door. There could even be 2 posts on each side of the driveway with lights on top. You want to make sure that you modernize these. Spend a little bit more money here so when they walk up to the curb, they have an experience and they catch themselves drooling over your house because they want it so bad. Now when it comes to the landscaping, most of the homes we buy is very minimal. We're usually just removing a bunch of plants, adding some rock, and calling it a day, because we're buying at the middle price point and less. Now there are some houses in that price point, if you check the comparables, that you might have to do something more. And as the price goes up from there, you definitely might have to consider doing artificial grass, pavers, and any other little upgrade. Once again, check with the HOA. So keep those things in mind. Most of the time, don't waste your money adding in those extra things because you're not going to get it back when you sell the house. And lastly, here's a bonus tip. Take a look at the driveway before you buy it. I will share from personal experience on a house we're finishing up right now in Phoenix. We actually had to remove the whole driveway and replace it, costing me $10,000 more than I had planned. There was actually big piles of junk parked in the driveway and in the garage that didn't allow us to see the worst spots of the driveway where there was a massive shift in the concrete and we had no choice. There was no way I was gonna let somebody lose that drooling experience over a cracked driveway after spending so much time and money making the house look amazing. Now leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Do you agree with me? Would you do things completely different? Would you spend more money? Would you spend less money? We can all learn from each other. Don't forget, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video of this series or another video of your choice. Peace.